Hello again. There's this moment that happens to all of us. You're holding something in your hands, maybe a photograph, maybe a letter, maybe just a memory, and you realize it's slipping away. Not because you're letting go, but because that's just what everything does. It changes, it fades, it transforms into something else entirely. And in that moment, you feel it, that ache in your chest, that whisper of loss. That's impermanence speaking to you. And today, we're going to listen to what it has to say. Before we dive in, if this topic resonates with you, if you're searching for something deeper, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel is about exploring the profound truths that can change how we see everything. And trust me, understanding impermanence will change everything. Let's begin with a question. What if I told you that the very thing you're resisting, the fact that nothing lasts, is actually the key to your freedom? What if the Buddha wasn't teaching us to accept loss, but to see through the illusion that we ever truly possessed anything in the first place? In the Pali Canon, the Buddha said something that cuts right to the heart of existence. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. Simple words, but they contain an entire universe of meaning. All conditioned things, everything that comes into being through causes and conditions. Your body, your thoughts, your relationships, your career, your pain, your joy. All of it, without exception, is impermanent. But here's what's fascinating. We know this. Intellectually, we all know that nothing lasts forever. We've watched seasons change. We've lost people we love. We've seen our own faces age in the mirror. Yet we live as if permanence is possible. We build our entire lives on the assumption that if we just work hard enough, plan carefully enough, hold on tightly enough, we can make things stay. And then we're shocked, devastated even, when they don't. There's a Zen story about a master named Hakuin who lived in a small village. One day, a young woman in the village became pregnant, and when her parents demanded to know who the father was, she named Hakuin. The villagers were outraged. They brought the baby to Hakuin and said, "This child is yours. You must care for it." Hakuin simply said, "Is that so?" and took the baby in without protest. For months, he cared for the child, his reputation destroyed, his life completely changed. Then one day, the young woman confessed that the real father was a young man in the village. The parents rushed to Hakuin, apologizing profusely, asking for the child back. And Hakuin simply said, "Is that so?" and handed the baby over. Is that so? 3 words that contain the entire teaching of impermanence, not clinging when things arrive, not grasping when they leave, just this continuous flow of life, moving through us, changing us, and moving on. The Buddha taught that our suffering doesn't come from impermanence itself. It comes from our relationship with impermanence. It comes from this deep, almost unconscious belief that things should be permanent, that we should be able to hold on to what we love. That change is somehow a mistake, an error in the system, rather than the very nature of the system itself. In the Samyutta Nikaya, there's a teaching where the Buddha asks his disciples, "What do you think? Is form permanent or impermanent?" They answer, "Impermanent, Lord." He continues, "Is feeling permanent or impermanent?" Again, "Impermanent, Lord." He goes through all 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness. And for each one, the answer is the same: impermanent. And then he asks the crucial question: is it fitting to regard what is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change as, this is mine, this is I, this is myself? Think about that for a moment. We spend our entire lives constructing an identity around things that are constantly changing. We say, my body, but which body? The one from 10 years ago? The one from yesterday? The one from this morning? Every cell is being replaced. Every molecule is in motion. We say, my mind, but which mind? The one that was angry an hour ago? The one that's curious right now? The one that will be tired tonight? It's like trying to step into the same river twice. The river has already moved on. There was a monk named Chao Chu who lived to be 120 years old. A student once asked him, "What is the meaning of Bodhidharma coming from the West?" This was a classic Zen question, essentially asking about the fundamental nature of reality. Chao Chu answered, "The oak tree in the garden." The student was confused, as students often are with Zen answers. But what Chao Chu was pointing to was this: look at the oak tree. It's not the same tree it was yesterday. It's not the same tree it will be tomorrow. Every moment, it's dying and being born. Every moment, it's completely itself and completely changing. That's not a paradox. That's reality. The practice, then, isn't to become comfortable with impermanence. It's to see it so clearly that we stop fighting it. In the Visuddhimagga, an ancient Buddhist text, there's a meditation instruction that tells practitioners to contemplate impermanence by observing the breath. Not to control it, not to change it, just to watch it arise and pass away. Arise and pass away, over and over. Each breath is born and dies. Each breath is unique, never to be repeated. And in watching this simple process, we begin to see the pattern of all existence. But here's where it gets really interesting. When we truly see impermanence, when we stop resisting it, something unexpected happens. We don't become detached or cold or indifferent. We become more alive, more present, more capable of genuine love and appreciation. Because when you know that this moment won't last, you actually experience this moment. When you know that this person won't be here forever, you actually see this person, not the idea of them, not the role they play in your life, but them, right now, in all their changing, imperfect, beautiful reality. Master Dogen, the founder of Soto Zen, wrote something profound in the Shobogenzo. He said, "Impermanence is itself Buddha nature." Not that impermanence leads to Buddha nature. Not that we must transcend impermanence to find Buddha nature. But that impermanence itself, this very quality of constant change, is the awakened nature of reality. The flower doesn't become beautiful despite the fact that it will wilt. It's beautiful because it will wilt. Its temporary nature is inseparable from its beauty. So, why do we resist this? Why do we spend so much energy trying to freeze life in place? Part of it is biological. Our brains are prediction machines, constantly trying to create models of reality that will keep us safe. Permanence feels safe. If things stay the same, we can predict them, control them, protect ourselves from them. Change feels dangerous. It means uncertainty. It means loss of control. But there's something deeper too. The Buddha taught that at the root of our resistance to impermanence is this fundamental misunderstanding about who we are. We think we're a fixed thing, a permanent self that moves through time, experiencing changes, but remaining essentially unchanged. And if that's true, then every change is a threat. Every loss diminishes us. Every ending is a small death. But what if we're not a fixed thing at all? What if we're more like a process, a pattern, a verb rather than a noun? There's a teaching in the Milinda Panha, a dialogue between a Buddhist monk named Nagasena and a Greek king named Milinda. The king asks Nagasena, "What is your name?" Nagasena answers, "I am called Nagasena, but Nagasena is only a designation, a name, a concept. There is no permanent self to be found." The king is skeptical, so Nagasena points to the king's chariot and asks, "Is the chariot the wheels?" The king says no. "Is it the axle, the frame, the reins?" No. Then where is the chariot? Nagasena asks. The king realizes that chariot is just a convenient label for a collection of parts arranged in a particular way. There's no essential, permanent thing called chariot separate from those parts. And in the same way, Nagasena teaches, there's no essential, permanent thing called self separate from the constantly changing collection of body, feelings, perceptions, thoughts, and consciousness. This isn't just philosophy. This is practical, life-changing wisdom. When you really understand impermanence, when you see it operating in every moment, your entire relationship with life shifts. You stop trying to make everything permanent. You stop clinging so tightly. You stop being devastated when things change, because of course they change. That's what things do. There's a story about Suzuki Roshi, the Zen master who brought Soto Zen to America. A student came to him in tears because her cat had died. She said, "Roshi, I know about impermanence. I know everything changes, but it still hurts so much." Suzuki Roshi looked at her with great compassion and said, "Yes, it hurts." He didn't tell her not to feel pain. He didn't tell her that understanding impermanence means not caring. He simply acknowledged that loss hurts, and that's okay. Understanding impermanence doesn't mean we don't feel. It means we don't add unnecessary suffering on top of the natural pain. We don't tell ourselves stories about how things shouldn't change, how life is unfair, how we should have been able to prevent this. We just feel what we feel, and we let it move through us, because feelings are impermanent too. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha says, "All things arise and pass away, but the awakened awake forever." What does that mean, to awake forever in a world where everything is impermanent? It means to be awake to impermanence itself, to see it so clearly that you're not constantly surprised by it, not constantly fighting it, not constantly trying to negotiate with reality. You're just here, present, aware, responding to what is, rather than clinging to what was, or grasping for what might be. So, how do we actually practice this? How do we move from intellectual understanding to lived experience? The Buddha's answer was simple: pay attention. In the Satipatthana Sutta, the foundational teaching on mindfulness, he instructs us to observe the body in the body, feelings in feelings, mind in mind, phenomena in phenomena, and in each case, to see their arising and passing away, not to judge them, not to change them, just to see them clearly. Start with something simple. Watch your breath. Really watch it. Notice how each inhalation is different from the last. Notice the pause between breaths. Notice how the exhalation releases and dissolves. You're not breathing the same air twice. You're not experiencing the same breath twice. Each one is completely new, completely unique, completely temporary. Then expand that awareness. Notice how thoughts arise in your mind. They appear from nowhere, stay for a moment, and vanish. You don't create them. You don't control them. They're like clouds passing through the sky of your awareness. Notice how emotions arise. That flash of anger, that wave of sadness, that bubble of joy. They come, they peak, they fade, always moving, always changing. Master Thich Nhat Hanh taught a practice he called touching the earth. When you feel overwhelmed by impermanence, when you're grieving a loss or afraid of change, you literally touch the earth. You place your hands on the ground and you remember that the earth itself is impermanent. Mountains erode, rivers change course, continents drift. And yet, in this moment, the earth is here, solid, supporting you. Impermanence doesn't mean nothing is real. It means everything is real in this moment, and this moment is enough. Here's the beautiful paradox at the heart of this teaching. When you truly accept impermanence, when you stop fighting it, you discover a kind of freedom you never knew was possible. You're no longer trapped by the past, because the past is gone. You're no longer anxious about the future, because the future hasn't arrived. You're here, now, in this moment, which is the only moment that ever exists. In the Heart Sutra, one of the most important texts in Mahayana Buddhism, there's a line that says, "Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form." This is often misunderstood as meaning that nothing matters, that everything is meaningless. But that's not it at all. It means that form, all the solid, seemingly permanent things we see around us, is actually empty of permanent, independent existence. Everything is constantly changing, constantly dependent on everything else, and that emptiness, that lack of fixed nature, is what allows form to exist at all. If things were truly permanent, nothing could grow, nothing could heal, nothing could transform. Impermanence isn't the problem. Impermanence is what makes life possible. There was a Zen master named Bankei who taught what he called the unborn. He said that our true nature is unborn and undying, not because it's permanent, but because it was never born into existence in the first place. It's the awareness itself, the knowing that knows all these changing phenomena. Thoughts come and go, but the awareness of thoughts doesn't come and go. Feelings arise and pass, but the awareness of feelings doesn't arise and pass. That awareness, that clear, open, spacious knowing, is always here, always now, never changing, because it's not a thing that can change. So, what's the gift in all of this? What's the practical, lived benefit of understanding impermanence? It's this. You get your life back. You stop postponing your happiness until conditions are perfect, because you realize conditions will never be perfect and they'll never stay the same anyway. You stop holding grudges because the person you're angry at isn't even the same person anymore. You stop clinging to relationships out of fear, and you start showing up in them with presence and love. You stop trying to control everything, and you start dancing with life as it unfolds. The Buddha's final words, according to the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, were these: "All conditioned things are subject to decay. Strive on with diligence." Even at the moment of his death, he was teaching impermanence. But notice the second part. Strive on with diligence. Understanding impermanence doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean nothing matters. It means everything matters, right now, in this moment. It means your life, your choices, your actions, your love. All of it matters precisely because it's temporary. You don't have forever. None of us do. So what are you going to do with this moment? There's a Zen saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Life doesn't change. You still have to do the dishes. You still have to go to work. You still have to deal with difficult people and challenging situations. But your relationship with all of it changes. You're no longer fighting reality. You're no longer demanding that life be different than it is. You're just here, chopping wood, carrying water, fully present, fully alive, fully aware that this moment will never come again. So here we are, at the end of this exploration, which is also a beginning. Because understanding impermanence isn't something you achieve once and then you're done. It's a continuous practice, a continuous seeing, a continuous letting go. Every moment offers you a choice. You can resist what is, or you can meet it with open awareness. You can cling to what's passing, or you can appreciate it while it's here. You can fear change, or you can recognize it as the very nature of life itself. The Buddha once held up a flower in front of his disciples. He didn't say anything. He just held up the flower. Most of the disciples were confused, waiting for a teaching. But one disciple, Mahakashyapa, simply smiled. The Buddha smiled back and said, "I have the treasure of the true Dharma eye, the marvelous mind of nirvana, the true form of no form, the subtle gate of the Dharma. It is not established upon words and letters and is transmitted outside the teachings. I now entrust it to Mahakashyapa." What did Mahakashyapa see? He saw the flower, just the flower, in all its temporary, changing, perfect beauty. He didn't need it to be permanent. He didn't need it to mean something. He just saw it completely in that moment. And in that seeing, he understood everything. That's what's available to you right now. Not some distant enlightenment, not some perfect state where nothing ever changes, but this moment, exactly as it is, in all its imperfect, temporary, precious reality. The breath moving in your body, the light in the room, the sound of these words, all of it arising and passing, like waves on an endless ocean. If this video has touched something in you, if you're beginning to see impermanence not as an enemy, but as a teacher, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Leave a comment about your own experience with change and letting go. And subscribe, because we're going to keep exploring these profound truths together. This is just the beginning of a much longer conversation. Remember, you don't have to figure this all out right now. You don't have to become perfectly accepting of impermanence by tomorrow. Just start paying attention. Just start noticing. And slowly, gradually, your relationship with life will transform. Not because life changes, but because you see it clearly for the first time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being willing to look at what's real, even when it's uncomfortable. That willingness is the beginning of wisdom. That willingness is the path itself.